Let me tell you something, yo. It's gang up in this motherfucker. Gang up in this
Cute niggas in this
motherfucker. Feel
bitch.
me, yo?
Watch your
gang
bitch, nigga.
up in
I
this
swear to God, watch.
What's going on, YouTubers? It's your boy Purple Lotus again. I am an active duty Army personnel, and I've been getting a lot of requests to talk about this. So today we're going to talk about I had Corona. So as you can see, I'm not pulling anyone's leg. You got the I'm stationed in Fort Hood, Texas. So I went to the Darnell Hospital, and you got the physician, you got the tested positive, and then we got again tested positive. So with this pandemic going on, I just wanted to inform our viewers what it's actually like to have the coronavirus in the military. My experience of the coronavirus was not a very pleasant one. So let me tell you how the experience is for being in the Army. So when I first found out I had it, I just had a cold, I had a sore throat, I had some chills. So I went to the doctor just to see if I can get rid of it faster. So this was happening when the pandemic was going on. So how the Darnell Hospital is set up, you can't just go to the doctor anymore. First, you have to, when you go there, they have this line. I got into the line, and because of this coronavirus, they're not really seeing anybody. They gave me medicine in a bag, and the only thing they tested me for was the coronavirus. And so I got tested that day. I got some medicine in the bag, you know. Next day, somebody calls me and says, hey, you have the coronavirus. And I'm surprised. I'm like, I haven't went anywhere. How could I get this coronavirus? I mean, literally, like, this is when it just first started, so I just been chilling in my room. The most I've been to is the defect. And for those of you that are military, the defect is where we eat at. Or I would go to the commissary, and that's where you buy food. But anyways, they told me I had the coronavirus, and I'm pretty scared. I'm like, how is this possible? Blah, 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 whatever stuff. And they're like, instantly like, who's your commander? So, I tell them I find it, I'll get the number and call them back. So I got the number, I called them back. I told them everybody I was around because they had to alert everybody that I was around. And then that same day, I went back to my room. They were like, my chain of command alerted me. They told me to stay in my room until a few hours later. And a few hours later, what happened was, I guess the chain of command was all freaking out. So what they did was, it's crazy because y'all know how slow it takes the Army to do anything. These people wrote like a whole 3 pages of orders for basically to, confine me. So they pretty much typed this up in pretty much no time, and they was planning to confine me somewhere else, I guess, so I wouldn't be a threat, quote unquote, a threat. And so they get done typing the orders up, and then they tell me, get the supplies you think you're gonna need, because you're gonna need it because you're going somewhere else. So they forced me to get out of my room, and then they put me in a whole new room. It's called the quarantine barracks. And it was basically like prison, viewers, Like, it was not fun. I had to stay there for at least 2 weeks. There was actually bars on the windows. I couldn't do nothing. I wasn't allowed to leave. People had to bring me food. You know, sometimes I had to call and complain because they would forget to bring me food. Like, and they were just taking it, you know, so serious. Like, I didn't even feel that bad. Like, even the people that had escorted me, you know, they were like, you know, what's wrong with you? You don't look bad. But they were treating it like it was worse than AIDS. And I'm making this video because, you know, somebody has to speak up. You know, there's definitely more to this virus than what people think it is. You know, there are a lot more things worse than this. When I had it, I know everybody's different, but when I had it, it just felt like the flu, you know. And there are millions of people that died from the flu. You know, it's not nearly as many people that has died from this virus, but that's what some of the effects that I did have, viewers, when I had the coronavirus. See, I definitely lost a lot of weight. I lost a lot of weight, like at least 15 pounds or more in a short amount of time. My sense of smell isn't as strong as it used to be. And that's about it for the long term effects. But when it was over, when I recovered in those 3 days, I can tell you that I pretty much felt the best that I had ever felt in my whole entire life, believe it or not. The world is acting like, you know, like this virus is the last thing, like they're gonna die like it's Ebola or something. Like, I'm not saying, like, you know, some people hasn't died from it, and of course, you know, there's some after effects that can come from it, but it's not nearly as bad as what, you know, the media is trying to tell you. It's not nearly as bad as what people think it is. So it really makes you question, like, what's really going on. You know, they have us locked up in our houses. They have people locked up in their houses. They stop jobs. They basically stop the whole world for something that it's not all that serious. There's definitely something else going on, you know. I mean, think about it. Like, let's be honest, like being in the military, being overseas, there are a lot of more things, you know, they could take way more serious than they have been taking this, you know. Like, for instance, chemical weapons. We have gas masks. If it was that serious, why haven't we been ordered to wear our gas masks? I've been to Korea, where everybody knows that they're big on chemical warfare. I'm sitting here at Camp Hovey right next to the border, and their precautions aren't even as serious as they're taking this coronavirus. And like I said, I'm not saying that, you know, everybody shouldn't, you know, be more cleaning. Everybody shouldn't, you know, do their part so the elderly don't suffer, because that's really who's suffering. But, and the crazy thing about it is, viewers, even though I had to stay there for 2 weeks, I recovered after the 3rd day. Literally, when I was locked in that room, they had the nurses and they had the medics. They would come literally every single day to take my temperature. And after the 3rd day, my temperature was fine. You know, I recovered. Like I said, I know everybody's different, but I recovered in 3 days. I just think that it's crazy how they're trying to force everybody to get a vaccine. And to be honest with you, you know, I'm in the military. We get pretty much vaccines for every single thing. And so I get the flu shot every year, and I still get the flu. So I don't understand how, you know, even getting the vaccine for this, you know, this COVID-19 is going to help anybody, to be honest with you. I feel like it's inevitable. I feel like everybody pretty much has already had it or will get this virus. They say that it's not airborne, but I feel like it is. I feel like it's impossible for it not to be. It's too many people catching it that's not doing anything. This thing done traveled the world so fast. Like, come on now, we gotta use our common sense. we can't sit here and pretend like and act like, you know, like that it is what they're telling us. You can't always trust the media. We have to trust ourselves. We have to start trusting our own intuition. We have to start trusting our own facts, you know, people that's actually experienced this. And we all can't keep acting like this isn't something bigger than what they're telling us. I made this video to help the people around the world, you know, so we can all stop living in fear. I know a lot of people, a lot of people around the world have been living in fear. You're scared to go outside. You're scared to do anything. You're scared that you might catch this and die, you know. And I don't want to sit here and say that, you know, it's nothing, but it's not as bad as what the media is trying to persuade you to think, you know. Just remember, viewers, we've had a lot of changes this year, and I'm pretty sure this is just the start. We're gonna have a lot more changes, but I just want everybody to try and let love guide you. Don't live in fear. Don't let fear guide you. Don't be afraid of this world, because it's not what we're here to do. We wasn't placed here to be afraid.